Agent Zero destroys OpenClaw, you just installed OpenClaw. You followed every step and it still doesn't work. Broken links, random errors, half the features just don't load. Meanwhile, there's this other tool that's been quietly doing everything OpenClaw promised. No drama, no hype, just works. It's called Agent Zero, and today we're putting them both to the test. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one is actually worth your time. What's up, everyone? I'm Hada. I teach people how to actually use AI tools, not just talk about them. If you want real breakdowns, real comparisons, and real results, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. First, let's be clear about what we're actually comparing here. Agent Zero is an open source AI agent framework. It runs inside Docker, which is basically a secure sandbox on your computer. It can write code, execute commands in the terminal, browse the web, fix its own mistakes, and spin up multiple agents working together at the same time. It works with models from OpenAI, Anthropic, and even local models through something called Llama. Everything it does, you can see in real time. OpenClaw is a different kind of tool. It started as a hobby project in November 2025 by a developer named Peter Steinberger. It went through a few name changes, first Claudebot, then Moltbot, then landed on OpenClaw. It blew up fast. Over 211,000 GitHub stars in roughly 3 months. Someone even had it buy a car for them. The core idea with OpenClaw is that your AI lives inside your messaging apps. WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord. It connects your AI to all of those and lets it take real actions, not just answer questions. On the surface, these two sound similar, but once you dig in, they're built for very different jobs. And that difference matters a lot when things go wrong, which they did multiple times. I'll show you exactly what happened. Let's start with setup, because this is where a lot of people get stuck. Agent Zero is technical. You need Docker installed, pull an image, map your ports, and open the web UI. Takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes if you follow the documentation. Once it's running, it runs. The interface is clean, it streams results in real time, and the Docker container keeps everything isolated from your main system. OpenClaw had real problems here. Despite all that hype, users on Reddit were documenting days of failed deployments. There's literally a thread called OpenClaw. Absolute nightmare. And that's from the community, not one person having a bad day. To be fair, OpenClaw grew incredibly fast from a hobby project. The codebase wasn't built to handle that kind of demand overnight. But for you, the person trying to use it right now, that context doesn't make the broken links any less frustrating. By the way, if you're figuring out which tools are actually worth your time, I want to mention something that helped me a lot when I was getting started. There's a community called AI Profit Boardroom with over 2,000 members, all focused on learning AI together and sharing what actually works. I was overwhelmed when I first started using these tools. The community shares real use cases and practical implementations, so you're not just guessing. If you're serious about using AI to improve your work and skills, check it out. Link is in the description. One of the tasks in the head-to-head comparison was building out a Trello board, a multi-step task that requires the agent to think through structure, create cards, organize lists, and complete the job without being handheld the whole way. Agent Zero handled this the way it's designed to. It broke the job into steps, executed each one, and self-corrected when something didn't work the first time. That self-correction loop is one of the most underrated things about it. It doesn't just fail and stop. It looks at what went wrong and tries again with a different approach. OpenClaw is better suited to tasks that start and end inside a messaging app. Scheduling, inbox triage, daily briefings, that's where it shines. Complex multi-step workflows that need terminal access and debugging loops, that's Agent Zero's territory. Agent Zero supports multi-agent cooperation. One agent on research, another on code generation, a third organizing results, all coordinating together. The web UI shows you exactly what each agent is doing. Nothing is hidden. OpenClaw handles multiple contexts too, but across messaging channels. It stays present across Slack, Telegram, and Discord simultaneously, keeping memory from one conversation to the next. Different use case, but genuinely useful if that's where your bottlenecks are. Both tools are open source and free to download. You'll need API keys to power them, but Agent Zero also supports local models through Olama, which means you can run it completely free if you have the hardware. That's a big deal for people who want control over their costs and data. On security, this is where I want to be straight with you. Agent Zero runs in Docker specifically to keep your system safe. The documentation is clear. Do not run it outside a container. With proper setup, the isolation is solid. Without it, you're giving the agent broad access to your machine. OpenClaw had serious security issues as it scaled. Cisco researchers found at least one skill on the ClawHub marketplace quietly sending users Discord message histories to an unknown external server. A Palo Alto researcher called it a data breach scenario. There were also command injection vulnerabilities found in tools used alongside OpenClaw, some actively exploited before patches came out. These were in third-party integrations, not the core codebase, but they existed in the ecosystem. Work was done to address those vulnerabilities, but the broader point stands. Any agent with real access to your files, your accounts, and your terminal needs to be treated carefully. Understand what you're giving it access to before you give it access. So, who wins? Agent Zero. If stability, deep automation, and real multi-step execution matter to you, it's the better tool right now. The setup is more technical, but the reliability is there, the documentation is solid, and the Docker isolation gives you peace of mind. OpenClaw isn't dead, though. If your workflow bottleneck is inside messaging apps and you want an AI that lives there with you, it's doing something genuinely unique. Just go in with realistic expectations about setup. If I had to pick just one to start with right now, Agent Zero, no hesitation. That's the breakdown. Agent Zero versus OpenClaw side by side, no hype. If you want to actually implement any of this, I'd point you to two places. First, AI Profit Boardroom. Over 2,000 people learning how to use AI tools effectively. Everyone shares real experiences. What's working? What's not? Which tools are worth your time? Which ones to skip? No hype, just solid information and practical guidance from people doing the work. It's helped me stay on top of updates and figure out how to actually apply them. Link in description if you want to check it out. Second, if you want the full process, SOPs, and over 100 AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. Links are in the comments and description. You'll get all the video notes from there, plus access to our community of 46,000 members who are building real skills with AI. If this was useful, drop a like. It helps more people find this content. Subscribe. If you're new, I drop new AI tool breakdowns regularly. I'm Hada. See you in the next one.